Do you know what I would hate for you?
Hmm?
I would hate for you to have left your religion just purely based off your feelings. Because I encourage you to leave your religion, but there is a way that I encourage people to do it. You should do it by understanding.
Yeah, that's what I think that truly made me deconstruct was, I guess, like a lot of philosophy and just my mind, just using my brain and thinking.
Right? Critically, right? Asking
Yeah.
questions and connecting the dots of things that make sense. So, out of everything about Christianity, what is it the most that just kind of leaves you wondering? Oh
I
man, there's no way
guess
this could be true.
the benevolence of God, basically. It's hard to see it.
But then they would tell you that God does all these miracles, He heals the sick, He gives people hope. How about all that good stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I look at like the philosophy of like the problem of evil, and that really just like changed my mind completely. Like you can't really look at the good and then ignore the bad. That's how I see it though.
Well, all the good stuff that happens is because God does it, and all the bad stuff that happens because it's the devil. Doesn't that make sense to you?
I mean, no. It doesn't, I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know.
So, where you are right now, would you say that you have morality?
I mean, yeah.
So, what is it that governs your morality since you don't believe in God anymore?
Well, I believe in God, but I'm just not like, super duper like religious. Like, I don't believe in like the Christian.
So you still believe in God? You haven't deconstructed to the point where you can say that there is no God?
No, I'm talking about like, I just don't believe there is like a Abrahamic God, basically.
What type of God do you think there is?
That's the thing. I think that we humanize God. I don't think there's really like a anthropomorphic God. Like if I said that word right.
You know why I'm picking your mind, right?
No, it's good. I love it. But why?
Yeah. So like, because the worst thing, especially considering how you came up to my program and how you've approached me, and you see how I say that every religion is a business and God is the product. And I'm not being like I'm not specifically talking only about the Abrahamic religions. I'm talking about the idea of God itself. It's a product. So however it is that you conceive it in your mind, unless it's marketable, it's really not useful. So there's really no need to then try to say there's anything real about God other than what's fictional. So someone that thinks in your mind that God is a fictional character, at that point, you can open any door you want to, as long as you understand that it's within the realm of fiction. But if you're trying to represent God within our reality in some form, whether you think it's a non-intelligent being or it's the universe, then you still get caught up in that mess because the word in of itself has been coined and hijacked by the religious world. And no matter how much someone says they don't believe in the Abrahamic gods or the major religious gods, you don't really have any other formula. You will still make it in your mind like that, and it will still have the same negative consequences. For example, if I take like a poison and I just change the name of the poison and maybe I lace it with something else, it doesn't change the effects of that poison, you see. So what I'm trying to get people to think and is to see the world from the perspective of non-absolute. Like there's no almighty power, there's no supreme anything. Like
Yeah.
the universe is entirely checked and balanced. So no matter how powerful something is, you will always find something more powerful than it. No matter how no matter how good something is, you always find something better than it. It's just a matter of time, investigation, analysis, and research. But religious people don't understand that. They create this natural blockage in their mind where they either exaggerate the situation due to their lack of understanding or their lack of knowledge, or perhaps some type of emotional weakness, right? Because sometimes we just want things to be, and then we forget that we just want them to be rather than the fact that they actually are. So in your specific situation, it doesn't seem to me like you're really struggling mentally. There might be a method to your madness. Can you go ahead and just tell me what exactly, like I asked you earlier, your morality, what governs your moral compass?
Well, I feel like empathy, like, like some things we just know, like whatever causes harm to another person, we know it's wrong, But I also feel
So
like,
what is it that compels you to do what you think is good? What is it that compels you to do it?
um, I guess
Because
like,
if there's no one imposing punishment on you like a god, or if there's no one for you to necessarily please, how then do you stand grounded within your moral compass? And where do you get your moral compass from? I know you say empathy, but that's still kind of generic. I just want to understand you for you. Like, tell me about you for you.
well, me personally, I know that, I know that, like I said, like empathy, like if I know that if I'm causing harm to another person, then it's just not a good thing. But I feel like humans, their morality evolved with them. Like, we read things in the Bible and stuff, and we see that people were okay with harming other people because they thought it was okay at that time. So I feel like now that that's why like, some things like we read, like we're like, that is not okay. Like we read certain things that like, in the Bible, it says that they killed young boy or they unalived young boys and kept young girls. We now know that that's not okay, but back then they thought it was, So I feel like we evolved with our morality. So I feel like it really just changes, honestly, for each
How about
person.
you then? How about you? Just you. So I understand how we, like you've done a good job describing how we naturally interact and how morality changes as it pertains to all of us as a whole, people, humans. But how about you?
Hmm.
What is it that compels you to do what you think is good?
The only answer I have is my empathy. Like, just not like
What,
really.
what do you think empathy is?